up our wagon, the help of two goats, and we struck out for Kansas and we left Illinois. We hitched up our oxen and we fell in to ride, and we landed in Eureka in the year of '59. We traveled quite slowly, but we got here at last. We unyoked our oxen and turned them on grass. We built up a fire and we slept on the ground. We were camping right here when at Harper's Ferry they murdered John Brown. We took up a homestead and we got some nice land, and we helped run out old Quantrill and his dirty old band. There's one thing I must not forget to relate, was when Kansas was admitted into the Union and became a free state. And another thing also I must add to my story was when in '65 the boys were mustered out and we hollered, "Hurrah for Old Glory!" Often we had Indian scares and we fell in line. Some were ready to scoot and some were ready to shoot 'em up any old time. We had our trials and troubles, our joys and our mirth, and the cowboys chased the horse thieves and put them where they belong. Mother said to father, "Let's take the two girls and go back." She said it in low pleading tones, but that was soon settled, for one married Mr. Tucker and the other Henry S. Jones. We stayed with our land through the snow and the sleet, and we lived on cornbread, sorghum, molasses, prairie chickens, and buffalo meat. The things that we bought, excuse me if you please, when the skillet got hot, they would hop out of the meat and the cheese. When we had celebrations, we always had a good dinner and a loyal good speech from Uncle J. Kenner. You asked what we had, well, if I am not mistaken, we had cornbread and beans, and sometimes we had Eureka. We sat down some grass and we filled a hay tick. We built our log cabin on the bank of the creek. We hewed out the logs and we chopped down the trees, and for pickles we gathered the wild prairie peas. Huge chimneys out of rock from the quarry, and we hauled in the big loads with old Buck and Barry. We had good honest men and women, none of your high flyers, and the worst we had to contend with was the wild prairie fires. We had good neighbors, Uncle Jim and Aunt Mary, and we plowed up the sod with old Tom and Jerry. We had nice prairie grass, but none of your sweet clover, and we had two good rabbit dogs, old Watch and old Rover. We had hard-working men, but very few poets, and we could scarcely raise chickens for the nasty coyotes. The young men and girls were happy and jolly as they galloped along on old Mike and old Molly. You asked, were we lonesome? Oh, nonsense. To shake off the blues. We'd take a ride on old Kid or old Dolly. We were all poor and none of us were rich. And all that I had was the 7-year itch. We bought us 3 sheep and root digger's soul. And for milk we just roped a wild Texas cow. We soon raised us 2 nice cows, old Pet and old Roni. And we double shoveled our potatoes and corn with an Indian pony. Mother got her a gander and an old crippled Bruce. And the Indian stole Father's pony, but he came back and acted so ugly they soon turned him loose. We had plenty of Indian snakes, tarantulas and lizards, outlaw cyclones, grasshoppers, droughts and many fierce blizzards. The many dear friends that through trials and troubles stood by our side. A few of us are left, but the most of them have died. And now, my dear neighbors and friends, I must kindly bid you adieu by saying honesty, sobriety, and industry will